Live from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, it's International Hockey League action with the Kansas City Blades and the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. Hi everybody, I'm Mike Barak and welcome to the Delta Center. In just a few moments, we'll have a very important game for the Golden Eagles as they look to improve their standings in the IHL. Tonight they take on Kansas City, and boy, I'll tell you what, after a very exciting game here at the Delta Center Wednesday night. The Golden Eagles trailed in the game 3-1 at the end of 2 periods of play, but scored twice in period 3, and then early in overtime, after Wade Flaherty makes a great save on Kevin Wertman, C.J. Young in his 4th game for the Eagles bats in the game winner, and lo and behold, the Golden Eagles had won it 4-3 in overtime in a thrilling victory at the Delta Center. Joining me in the broadcast here tonight is former Golden Eagles player Randy Bucyk. And Randy, boy, I'll tell you what, very big one tonight for Salt Lake.
Well, no doubt, Mike, and I think the most important thing is the way they came off that big emotional win the other night. Dramatic fashion, that's got to be a big lift for this club. They know that every time they step on the ice is going to be the most important game of the season because they're in a dogfight for that final playoff position with the Indianapolis Ice.
Well, right now, the Golden Eagles are in 4th place in the Western Division. That's very important for a playoff spot. But more important, Randy, is the fact that the top 8 teams make the playoffs in the IHL.
Boy, Ray LeBlanc has really bolstered the Indianapolis Ice, moving them up. They've won now 8 of their last 9 and really making things tough for the Golden Eagles. You can see the Indianapolis Ice have really snuck into the playoff picture, and it's very important for the Golden Eagles to make good on all their wins. Indianapolis has 2 games in hand, but then on the other hand, we have the Kansas City Blades. They're in a fight for the Hubert Trophy for the top team in the league with the Fort Wayne Comets. So the ante in the pot is definitely up high, and it should be a great contest tonight.
Well, the Golden Eagles face a Kansas City team loaded up front, and a very popular player here in his days with Salt Lake, former Golden Eagle Peter Lappin, is somebody to watch.
Well, definitely, Mike. 4 years ago, he was the MVP in the Turner Cup Championship while playing for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. 3 years ago, he had 48 goals. This year, he's currently 2nd in team scoring, leads the team in power play goals. This guy is definitely a player who can change the course of a game if you don't watch him closely.
And one player for Salt Lake that's closing in on a franchise record, number 16, the captain, Rich Chernomaz.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's had 4 or 5 tremendous seasons here with the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. He's now currently 2 goals behind Doug Pellizzeri's all-time record for combined playoff and regular season goals. Hopefully he can notch those 2 tonight, get over a little bit of a hump he's facing right now, and lead the Golden Eagles to a victory.
Well, the Golden Eagles, as mentioned, take on Kansas City tonight, and some very important aspects in this game. And most notably, Randy, the Eagles are going to have to pressure the Kansas City back line.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Mike. Kansas City has the best defensive team in the league right now. They've really stingy in allowing goals. The Golden Eagles have to get that puck deep and pressure the defense, tire them out early in a hockey game, and that's where they're going to get their chances.
Next on our Franklin game planner is the shots on goal, and if the Eagles pressure the Kansas City goaltending, the best in the league, they're bound to win this game.
If you can pressure the defensemen early, they get tired towards the end of the game, you're going to get more quality shots. But don't forget, Artur Urbe is expected to be in the lineup tonight, one of the best goaltenders in the league. He has a fantastic 2.54 goals against average, and I'll tell you what, you have to have some quality shots to score on this guy.
Well, Jason Mazzotti is the expected starter tonight for Salt Lake. He is 4th in goals against in the league, 2nd in games played. It's the Salt Lake Golden Eagles and the Kansas City Blades. We'll have all the play-by-play here from the Delta Center in just a moment. Hi, everybody. This is Mike Barak alongside Randy Bucyk at the Delta Center. We're ready to go. It's the Salt Lake Golden Eagles and the Kansas City Blades. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. For 50 years, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Utah's favorite color of insurance. Kevin Wertman and Alexander Gideonic on defense for Salt Lake, and we're underway as Rich Chernomaz with Paul Cruz and C.J. Young up front. In goal tonight for Salt Lake, Jason Mazzotti. Artur Urbe in goal tonight for Kansas City. Tom Peterson and Dean Colston on defense, and Gary Emmons flanked by Jeff Medill and Troy Frederick. There are the scratches tonight, and you can see 5 over the limit for Salt Lake. Kevin Grant out with a 1-game suspension. Dennis Holland, defenseman Darren Stoke, and forward Todd Struve. Brian Easley out on a late scratch for Salt Lake. Larry DePalma, a scratch tonight for the Blades with a shoulder injury. They also have 4 defensemen in San Jose with the parent Sharks. And we're along the far side is where early on here in the first period just underway. And the puck is cleared on the left wing boards deep into the Salt Lake zone. And Alexander Gdyniuk, the second Soviet-born player to play for Salt Lake, able to wind it free on the right wing side. They try and jostle it on the far wing to center. And the captain, Luke Chernomaz, breaks into the Kansas City zone. But way back of the play in front of the Salt Lake goal, a Kansas City player shaken up on the play here in the opening period. Tonight's referee from Denver, Colorado is Don Adam. The linesmen Jim Tedesco and Rob Larson. And the faceoff will come up into the Salt Lake zone. It appears, and a Kansas City player down and out early on. The score, no score here. 36 seconds gone into the first, and you're listening to Salt Lake Golden Eagles hockey. Wow. Mike Barrack alongside Randy Bucyk here at the Delta Center, and it just takes 36 seconds, and Jeff Medill, the impressive forward for Kansas City, shaken up in front of Jason Mazzotti.
Boy, he went down in a heap there, Mike. He definitely got hurt. He took Gdyniuk into the boards hard, but as he went down to the ice, perhaps got hurt with a stick right here by Kevin Wortman, and he's still down and out. And if the Kansas City Blades happen to lose him, that would be a huge loss for this team because he is one of their top scorers.
Yeah, Jeff Medill for the Kansas City Blades leads the team in goals scored with 28. He's 4th in team scoring. Last year played with the Utica of the American Hockey League and also played briefly with the New Jersey Devils of the National Hockey League. A player that played at the IHL All-Star game in Atlanta and is being escorted off to the players bench at this point, and that's traditionally a pretty good sign if he's led to the players bench, but no, maybe not. Now he's being escorted towards the locker room, so it could be a little bit more serious for Jeff Medill on the far side. So not a great way to start off this game, Randy, here at the Delta Center after the Eagles had that impressive win here Wednesday night.
Well, I'll tell you though, Mike, if getting a top scorer out of the lineup like that is one less worry towards the end of the game that the Golden Eagles have to face, and Jeff Medill definitely could be a thorn in the side of the Golden Eagles, but now he could possibly be gone for the rest of this game.
Kevin Constantine, in his first year behind the bench, he spent 3 seasons as an assistant under John Marks with the Kalamazoo Wings of the IHL and has posted a 50, 22, and 3 mark in his rookie season behind the bench. Here's the play deep into the Kansas City zone early on in the first period. And Tim Harris trying to lead it back to center in the Blades. Ed Courtney trying to whip it free on the opposite side, and Rick Lassard plays it on left wing. 7th round Flames pick in 1986, over 200 games in an Eagles uniform. Able to lead it on left wing, but the Eagles break back to center, and here is Sean Afey, the Eagles leading point scorer, able to fling it right back into the Blade zone, and the side plays in his own side. 1:13 gone into the first period. Glad you've joined us here tonight as the defenseman Dwayne Joyce swivels it across the line, but it's offside at the defense with 1:20 gone into the first, a scoreless hockey game. Well, Randy, last year the Eagles won 11 of 15 against the Blades, but the Blades this year have held the upper hand in the series. Salt Lake 3-7-3 against Kansas City. Well, for our fans that are a little bit unfamiliar with the rules of professional hockey, we're going to take a look at one of the rules of professional hockey coming right up. The Salt Lake Golden Eagles present the 3 rules of hockey, the main rules that control the game, as demonstrated by Golden Eagle players Kevin Wortman, Dennis Holland, and Darren Banks. Sponsored by Ardell Brown Recreational Vehicles. Rule number 1 is blue line offsides. The puck must always cross the blue line into the attacking zone ahead of any offensive player. A pass is legal if the offensive player receives the pass behind the blue line or if he receives a pass while straddling the blue line. However, if an offensive player receives a pass after crossing the blue line into the attacking zone, it results in a face-off. Well, we're back here at the Delta Center, and Randy, we have a scoring play for the Blades right off the bat here in the opening period.
Well, Mikhail Kravitz steals that puck deep inside the Eagles zone, comes in one-on-one against Jason Mazzotti. He makes no mistake. He finds it low to the stick side, slap shot, and now the Kansas City Blades are up early in this game 1-0.
Here is Michael Kravitz on left wing. He scored the goal, and the Blades have jumped on top as the Eagles try and clear it, but not out. Peterson holds it in right point, trying to center one, but tipped away on the near wing. Here the Blades, former Boston Bruin, John Carter trying to center one, but Harkins able to breeze to center. Flicks it on edge into the Kansas City zone, and Peterson spins back of his net. Total of 2:08 gone into the first period. 1-0 Blades. And Kansas City clear the puck deep into the Salt Lake zone. And Wertman has to play back to the side of the net. Here's Wertman on left wing for Cruz. Check to the play, stolen in front, but ahead of the play offside. Way inside the line is Kevin Evans into the Salt Lake zone and trapped in to the Salt Lake territory. So the Eagles find themselves down on that quick scoring burst. And so already we've seen some strange things. A guy out in a dump right in front of the Salt Lake goal.
Well, it sure didn't take long, Mike. One little miscue, the Eagles find themselves in a little bit of a hole, and they have to be careful. You don't want to get behind against a team like the Kansas City Blaze. 50 wins in a season, you know they know how to win hockey games.
Okay, here's the play into the center ice area, and Salt Lake's Chernamaz comes up with a puck. Left wing for Cruz, trying to maneuver free, and then it's wound back to the right wing point for Wertman. Shoots one, and that's caught by Arthur Irbe into the Kansas City goal crease, and he holds on with 2:35 gone into the first, and now some pushing and shoving in front of the goal. And involved in the play is Paul Cruz for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles on that particular play. Well, wow, what about Arthur Irbe? He leads the IHL in goals against with a 2.5 mark. He, by the way, Randy, is the only goaltender in the league to have a mark under 3 in that category.
Well, I don't think it would be going too far out on a limb, Mike, to say there's a big league goalie in the minors right now. It's only a matter of time before he finds his spot up in the NHL, and he's could possibly be a great player up at that level.
He has played already 12 games with the San Jose Sharks. That is the parent team of the Blades. Here is Peter Lappin trying to work it free for Joyce's shot, and now we're going to have a scrap in the center ice. And a gentleman that holds a pro hockey record for penalty minutes in the season, Kevin Evans, along with Paul Cruz for Salt Lake. They're shadow boxing right into the neutral zone. And here we go. Right in the center ice area, Cruz and Evans. Cruz trying to throw a right hand. Evans misses with one as they are now to the blue line, and Cruz starting to flail away. Paul Cruz for Salt Lake at 65 minutes in penalties in his stint with the Calgary Flames, just back for Salt Lake. This is second game back, and now tries to throw a right hand over the shoulder of Kevin Evans, who has his helmet knocked off. And now they scramble to the glass area. Cruz trying to throw that right, gets another one. Evans trying to fight back, and they still flail away at the blue line. Evans is not that big, but he's got a lot of heart at 5'9", 180 pounds, and throws another right hand. The linesmen, Jim Tedesco and Rob Larson, finally trying to separate here in front of the Kansas City goal. We have a stop here. Good scrap between Paul Cruz and Kevin Evans. The score, 1-0 Kansas City here at the Delta Center, and we'll come right back with more in just a moment. Mike Barrack alongside Randy Bucyk here at the Delta Center. 2:48 gone into the opening period, and Paul Cruz and Kevin Evans, boy oh boy. Evans holds a pro hockey record, 648 minutes and penalties in one season. And how about Paul Cruz? Last year, 313 minutes and penalties for Salt Lake, second in that department.
Well, that's what you call a good old-fashioned slugfest there, Mike, but that's a little bit of repercussions from the game on Wednesday night. I'm sure those two players were possibly looking to go at it the other night, but left it for tonight's game.
Okay, we're back to action. Play back of the Kansas City goal. Thomas Forslund, right wing point. Kevin Gaia shot, and that goes over top of the net. Pinching in Daryl Olson, trying to fling it free, and the Blades try and work it to the top of the circle. Ron Andy checked by Forslund. Now Hayfield wrist shot going wide. Harris into the corner, muscled up by Olzenich. Handy now for Kansas City, whips it behind the goal. Early on, first period, the Blades have jumped to a 1-0 lead. And Daryl Olson able to spin it for Forslund. Right side pass for Harris, but the Eagles were changing up offensively. So as a result, the Blades come back the other way. Ed Courtney able to work it to center, but Olson flings it right back in. And the play back of the goal where Olzenich plays. The 19-year-old on defense for Kansas City. 19 years of age. On the left wing side, it's Gord Fronty into the Salt Lake zone. Boy, he's given a glove sandwich by two Eagles, Zemlak and Dahl. The fans delighted about that. Here are the Eagles clearing, but not out. Peterson, a long shot. And it's Dixie Bizzatti. They scramble for it to the left of the goal. Eagles Banks trying to dig it free, and they finally freeze it. As now Banks takes a hit, and here we go. A little bit of a rumble to the left of the Salt Lake goal, right against the boards. And I'll tell you what, Carter, Banks, Zemlak, and they're all involved here. Looks like a tag team wrestling match right here at the Delta Center.
All right, I'll tell you, Mike, we had a pretty quiet game here Wednesday night. Not too much going on as far as the fisticuffs go, but things have sure started off in a different way. There's a lot of things at stake here tonight. I'm sure tempers are right on the edge, especially when you play a team a couple of nights back-to-back, and they have to go at it again next week. Boy, I'll tell you, it doesn't take long to spark things up.
The Eagles have 7 players with over 100 minutes in penalties, and they have been involved in these things quite a bit during the 1991-92 season. John Carter having some words with big Darren Banks for Salt Lake to the near side with 4:05 gone into the opening period. And Randy, we take a look as Banks knocks down a Blades player, Carter, to start all that.
Banks hits Carter, but then here comes Kravitz in and smacks Banks from behind, and it doesn't take long for the Eagles to be just like a bunch of pack rats, jump in there together, and all is one and one for all, and that's the way things started.
Well, we'll have penalties here. The score 1-0 Kansas City here in the opening period, and we'll come back with more from the Delta Center in just a moment. Mike Barrack alongside Randy Bucyk here at the Delta Center. We'll have penalties here, and of course the scoring play for Kansas City earlier, it was 1:33 into the opening period. Michael Kravitz, who was involved in this little altercation from Gord Franny into the opening period, and now we'll have penalties. They'll sort things out with the referee Don Adam as the captain Rich Chernamaz will have some discussions and already has. And right now the ice and the decision is coming up from Don Adam, and he worked 7 games in the Olympics. He was the representative from the United States. He hails from Denver and evidently did a nice job. Very pleased with the job that he did in Albertville, but he'll have his hands full tonight the way things have gone here at just 4:05 into the opening stanza.
It sure looks like it already, Mike. Wednesday night, very quiet. He didn't really have a lot of work to do. It seems to be tonight's going to be a whole different situation, though, and very interesting to see how he's going to call this when you have a 5-on-5 situation like that. There's a good possibility that he could hand out some 10-minute misconducts, some game misconducts. Possibly players could be lost for the rest of this game. It just depends how sticky he's going to get and how much he wants to buckle down early in this contest.
How will this affect the goaltender for the Golden Eagles? Jason Mazzotti have a little bit of a wait here. We had one at the outset. And how about for all the players for Salt Lake when you have a delay in this kind of a situation?
Well, anytime there's a break in momentum, it's hard on all the players. You get on a roll, and the more consistency there is in a play, the more the flow of the game goes and the easier it is to play. When you have a lot of penalties, things are broken up like that, it really takes away from the continuity and it makes things a lot tougher for not only the Golden Eagles, but also the Kansas City Blades, and even that much more for the goaltenders. They have to have those big, heavy pads strapped to their legs, and they get heavy after a while, Mike, when you're just standing in there doing nothing. Jason Mazzotti skating around his crease, as is Artur Urbe, trying to shake the blood out of their legs a little bit, get mobile, so when they do have to face those shots, they're good and ready for them.
Okay, the penalties, and it will end up power play for Kansas City. Michael Kravitz, 2 for roughing. He started the little pushing with Darren Banks, and John Carter attempted misconduct. For Salt Lake, Darren Banks, 2 for the cross-check and attempted misconduct. Richard Zemlak, 2 for roughing and attempted misconduct at 4:05. As a result, the Blades will have the power play. But as you mentioned, Randy, it started with a pushing and shoving match between Banks and Carter, and then Kravitz came in as the play developed. However, the Blades go on the power play. They rank second to the IHO with a 21.7%, and former Golden Eagle Peter Lappin leads their team with 14 man advantage goals.
Well, they've got a couple of snipers out there. They move the puck around very well. The Eagles have not a bad penalty killing unit, but when you're up against a team that's able to score that many goals, it makes it a lot tougher.
Eagles have given up, as shown, 89 power play goals. They rank 9th of 10 teams, but they've shown some consistency at times in their own penalty killing department. Here's the playback of the goal, and Dwayne Joyce plays it for Kansas City. Man advantage for the Blades as Joyce able to work out on the right side for Gary Emmons. He scoops it into the Salt Lake zone. Mazzotti himself leaves it for Daryl Olson, the Calgary native, whips it to the blue line. However, it's held in by Kansas City. They flip it for Lappin into the far corner, and the forward Emmons tied up on the play, and the Eagles just pick an opening and clear it down. 4:42 gone into the opening period. 1-0 Kansas City, a minute to 18 left in the Blades power play. And slowly out of his own end for Kansas City is Dean Kolstad, the former Minnesota North Star, slams it in. It ricochets along the boards, but the whole plan an icing. And the reason for that, Randy, is Kolstad did not cross the checkered line into the center ice area. Peter Lappin, the former Golden Eagle, saying he clearly crossed the line.
Well, he may be also saying that they were the first ones to touch that puck as it came around the boards. The Golden Eagles didn't get a piece of it. Or if Jason Mazzotti touched it when he went behind the net to try and stop it, that would also nullify the icing call. So Peter Lappin definitely didn't think that it should have been whistled down and brought all the way back into the Kansas City zone, but that's where it's going to be a face-off.
I'm Mike Barrack alongside voices of Randy Bucyk, Todd Harkins, and Rich Chernomaz to kill it off. Kevin Melrose and Kevin Dahl on the back line for Salt Lake. And the defenseman Sandis Olzanic able to play the puck. He's 19 years of age from Riga, Latvia. And the play to the side of the goal, and the Blades that play the puck for Tom Peterson. He and Harkins collide, and the puck skips into the corner, and finally it's Kansas City controlling. Early on, first period, the Blades still on the power play, and here is Ron Handy, artfully into the Salt Lake zone. Handy now swivels to the left of the net, trying to work it free, backs it up to Olzanic, to Handy, cuts in and shoots, and that is blocked away by Chernomaz. He himself able to scoop it to the top of the circle, and then Gord Fraude able to clear it into the corner. Here is Kevin Dahl trying to clear it for Ron Handy. Forward Indianapolis checker, Peoria Riverman, and Fort Wayne Comet trying to dump it in front. He does, and Chernomaz picks an opening and clears it down.
Great job by Chernomaz to get his body in between the puck and Olzanic coming in from the point, get control of it and fire it down the ice.
Here comes Sean Afey for Salt Lake trying to center one. Peterson stands him up with 7 seconds to go in the penalty. The Eagles about to kill it off. Here's the play into the neutral zone. Harris controls, and that's it. The Eagles have killed it off. Kerry Clark, who was serving the extra minor, is back on, and the teams are at even strength. And now the play back of the goal where Peterson plays at his own defense. An 11th round Minnesota pick in 1989 out of the University of Minnesota. Peterson to center. Cross ice pass almost intercepted. However, it's taken by Gary Emmons. Flies it right back into the corner. Now back of the goal. It is Kansas City's Emmons trying to center one. Poked away by Harkins. He himself in his backhand leads for Forsland. Back of the net. Here's Peter Lappin racing in against Forsland. Flies it on the right side for Harkins. He's able to knock down the puck into the neutral zone, and finally it's controlled by Dwayne Joyce. Early on, first period, Kansas City with a 1-0 lead. Eagles looking for their 31st win of the season, and the side back after it behind his own goal. Hounding him, 2 Golden Eagles, including Chernomaz. However, Kansas City's Emmons into the neutral zone. Poke check by Clark, he plays to the blue line, and number 93, Alexander Godinyak, able to play it in. Here is Clark after it, but finally Joyce beats him to it and feeds it on the opposite side. Kansas City leading 1-0, and Kerry Clark knocks down the Kansas City player, at least knocks him off the puck, and that being Big Troy Frederick, who clears it behind the Salt Lake goal. Eagles control, and here's Chernomaz out of his own end for Salt Lake. In the left wing side for Clark, he's taken out of the play, and now Peterson races back for Kansas City. 12.5 minutes left, first period. Here is Chernomaz trying to work it free. Another Kansas City player shaken up. That's Peterson. Now Clark centers one. Handy controls and flips it deep into the Salt Lake zone. And Peterson was crunched inside the blue line and skates off slowly to the Kansas City bench. Now the play back of the goal with the Blades leading 1-0. And then on left wing, it is Sean Afey able to break it into center ice, and then Kansas City clear it right back in. Eagles need to keep the puck into the Kansas City zone. Early on, it's been Kansas City that have scored the only goal, and the Eagles have not peppered Artur Bayage yet. Here's Kevin Melrose trying to center one. Now back of the goal. Harris for Salt Lake trying to dig it free. However, it's Kansas City taking over, and Olzanic able to play it free. Oh, Daryl Olson levels Dean Kolstad with a hit of the night. And back after it is Kevin Dahl, and I'll tell you what, Olson levels the big defenseman Kolstad. He's 6'6", 210 pounds, and very tough to knock that guy down.
Well, here we go. Kolstad's looking behind him to try to find that puck. Olson just steps right into him, drops a shoulder, boom.
Daryl Olson at 6 foot, 190 pounds. He did not play Wednesday night. And I'll tell you what, he's taking that out on the Kansas City Blades.
Well, Olsen's a big guy. He can throw his weight around. He's a very offensive defenseman, but he's also very big and strong. And if he can use both of those combined together, he's definitely a huge threat on the ice for the Golden Eagles.
Well, the Eagles battling with Indianapolis, and the Ice lead 3-0 at the end of 40 minutes of play against the Milwaukee Admirals. If the Ice win their game, they would be a single point back of Salt Lake. That's if the Eagles were to drop this one. The Eagles trying to maintain their 3-point lead over Indianapolis as the season winds down. Only 8 games remaining for the Golden Eagles, actually 7 including tonight. Here's the play to the right of the goal, and Kansas City takeovers. Joyce out of his own end, up the middle for Gary Emmons, and he pokes it right back into the Salt Lake zone, and Jason Mazzotti leaves it for Paul Cruz on left wing. 4th round Flames pick in 1990. Here's Cruz to center, able to work it across the line and shoots, and that goes high over top of the net. And the puck skitters deep into the Salt Lake zone, and back after it is Daryl Olsen. 9th round Flames pick in 85. Second in IHL defenseman scoring last year. However, it's stolen by Kansas City. Kevin Evans whirling around to the top of the circle, trying to center one. There's going to be a penalty on the play against Salt Lake, it appears. Don Adam is going to call a cross-check on the far wing.
Well, the Golden Eagles off into the penalty box. Kevin Guy going to be whistled down for a 2-minute cross-checking penalty against the Kansas City Blades. And again, the Blades are going to get a chance to go on the PP.
1-0 Blades, and we'll come back with more at the Delta Center here in just a moment. Mike Barak alongside Randy Bucyk here at the Delta Center. The penalty against Kevin Guy. 2 minutes for cross-checking at 9:01. Kansas City's second power play. The Eagles did a very credible job on the first Blades man advantage chance.
Excellent job, Mike. They really didn't allow the Kansas City Blades to put any kind of pressure on Mazzotti or get any kind of quality scoring opportunities.
Okay, we're back to action in front. Kravitz robbed in front of the goal by Jason Mazzotti. He was alone in front, and Mazzotti simply robbed him from point-blank range.
Boy, no sooner did I say that than Kansas City Blades move right into that danger zone and fire one at Mazzotti. But what a great kick save to keep the lead only at 1 for the Kansas City Blades.
Jason Mazzotti for Salt Lake able to make the stop, and boy, it was centered right in front of Kravitz, and bang, kicks
Evans
it out.
makes a great pass over to Kravitz, threads the needle. Kravitz is all alone, and what a beautiful kick save.
Okay, the Eagles still down a man for another minute 40. Kansas City looking to increase their 1-0 lead. And the play in front, Evans a wrist shot, and a pad save Mazzotti, and Hafey clears it all the way down. Salt Lake dump it deep into the Kansas City zone.
Well, when you're down shorthanded, that's your strategy. Fire that thing down the ice. There won't be any icing call if it's within that 2-minute power play.
Here's Tom Peterson on left wing, able to wind it to center. Chernamaz able to break it up for Salt Lake. Rich Chernamaz for the Golden Eagles just plays it into center in a 2-line offside. Inside the Salt Lake blue line to the Blade side of center. Randy, we want to congratulate you, father for the second time, and you have a little girl now added to the family.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. A little bit tired today, but definitely a glow on my face. Very excited to say hi to my wife, Carmen.
And you're here at the hockey game while she's back at the hospital. Does that tell you what?
Sorry, honey.
Great dedication, great dedication. All right, the face-off will be deep into the Salt Lake zone. The Eagles trailing 1-0. Kevin Guy, the infraction, a cross-check at 9:01. Eagles have Chernamaz with C.J. Young to kill it off. Young killed off penalties for Dave Peterson, the coach of the U.S. Olympic team. He also at times played on the power play. Melrose and Workman on defense, and Workman just cranks it all the way to the blue line and outside the line. Workman, by the way, has played in all 75 games for Salt Lake. This game number 76. Here's the play to the neutral zone with under a minute to go now in the penalty. Here's the dangerous Lappin trying to center one, and just deflecting it wide is J.F. Quintin. Now Dwayne Joyce at the point, losing. Young steals, lead pass to center, but the Eagles Chernamaz unable to gain possession, and Joyce plays on the near side. Free agent signed by San Jose this summer. Joyce able to wind it to center, and Melrose just stands him up at the blue line and able to whip it right back in. And Kolstad now plays it for Kansas City. On the left wing side, able to wind it free into the neutral zone, and Joyce able to fly it to the Salt Lake blue line, and Melrose picks an opening and wings it right back in. So the penalty killing has been exquisite so far in this game. And the Blades take over. Joyce on the cross ice pass into the neutral zone, and Quintin moving free, trapping it back, but pushed away, and Dahl plays it to center, but then Olsenich winds it right back to the blue line. Now on left wing, Cruz, long shot, that's deflecting wide. 5 seconds to go in the penalty. Here's Bucyk on left wing, breaks out of there, and that's it. The Eagles have killed it off. So the Blades 0 for 2, and now they work it in offside as Frederick ahead of the play. 11:04 gone into the first, and the Eagles' penalty killing has been terrific. What has been the reason for the team's success? A man short.
Well, they're doing an excellent job, Mike, of angling off the Kansas City Blades as they come through that neutral ice, and there's a big part of the Kansas City team right now. Rick Lasardi used to play with the Golden Eagles, a very big, strong defenseman, probably one of the best open ice hitters in the IHL today.
Rick Lasard goes off. He had a banner year with 52 points in 1988-89 for Salt Lake, a first-team IHL All-Star. Here are the Eagles controlling the puck, and Alexander Godinyak along with Thomas Forsland. And 2 European players on the ice for Salt Lake. Here's the play back of the goal, and the Eagles wind it free on the right wing side. There is the play to the left wing boards as Forsland plays it to the blue line and wound right back in. And now to the back of the net, it's the rookie out of AIC College, Kevin Wertman. On left wing, the Eagles able to push it to center, and Olsenich has to go back. Here is the youngster Olsenich, able to wind it to center. Play slowed down for the moment as Franti a long shot, and Mazzotti himself pushes it on left wing. Here come the Eagles. Chernomaz into the neutral zone. Eludes a check, throws it ahead for Young. It could be an icing. Back after Kolstad, and icing is the call with 11:53 gone into the first. 1-0 in favor of Kansas City. Well, this is the second year of the Kansas City Blades as the Eagles coaching staff, Jim Levins and Bob Francis, barked signals to their team, but the Blades last year were an independent team. The expansion San Jose Sharks coming on and choosing Kansas City as their affiliate team, and boy oh boy, 50-22-3 under Kevin Constantine and former Tulsa Oiler Jim Wiley.
Well, Kevin Constantine has to be happy the way things have gone so far this year, getting 50 wins already, and the season's not even over. He's in a big fight for the #1 position overall, which he definitely wants to get, because if he can have home ice all the way through the playoffs, it makes things a lot easier.
Eagles win the draw, and Olsen has to go back. On the right wing side for C.J. Young, up the middle for the Eagles. Cruz, but tipped away at center, and Peterson able to whip it right back in. In the forecheck is Kevin Evans trying to work it free, and Salt Lake's Chernomaz able to break out of there. And here is Chernomaz, 4th in all times games played. Chernomaz centers one. Young couldn't get his stick on it. Now Young backs it up to the point for Guy, flings it into the corner for Cruz, back to the point for Guy, pinching in, shoots, and a stick save made by Irbe, and it deflects up into the stands with a 7:38 left in the first period. 1-0 in favor of Kansas City. The faceoff will come up, circle to the left of the goal, and the Eagles getting a long shot, but not one from tight range.
Well, good job by the Eagles to keep that puck in, but you need some traffic in front of Irbe. You can't let him have a clear view of the puck like you had on that shot, because he'll make the easy saves all the time. You want to get some traffic, perhaps some tips. This guy's a good goaltender, and you're going to have to do something special to get it by him.
Well, Irbe's first ever victory in the IHL this season, coming against Salt Lake October 5th at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. And he's had some tough times with the Sharks. He's been terrific down with Kansas City. Boy, he's been called up a couple of times and has not had much help. One night he was in goal for a 10-2 loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Here's the play to the left of the Salt Lake goal, and Kevin Wertman able to break out of there for Salt Lake. Up the middle for the Kelvington, Saskatchewan native Kerry Clark, whose long shot off the backboards. It skips into center, and the Eagles have to go back, and the defenseman Dahl whips it right back in. 7:14 to go in the first period. 1-0 Kansas City. And on right wing, it's Ed Courtney, able to wind it free into the neutral zone, and J.F. Quintin in for the forward Peter Lappin from St. Charles, Illinois. Trying to center one, but it's intercepted, and here comes Melrose back for Salt Lake. Right side pass for Clark, and he angles into the Kansas City zone, flips it in. Eagles change on the fly. It is Hafey for Salt Lake with Forsland up front, and Tim Harris. Boy, Alexander Godinyak and Ed Courtney collide at center. Hafey comes up with a puck, and with 27 goals at the Delta Center, leaves it free for Forsland on right wing. And the play from blue line to blue line is Forsland into the Kansas City zone. Bumped off by Joyce. Hafey trying to work it free. It's one to the blue line, and Hafey has to go back. 1-0 Blades here in the first period. And Salt Lake's Harris able to clear it into the Kansas City zone, where Handy just flips it up high in the air, caught by a Kansas City player, Frederick, and then Olsenich, bumped off by Hafey.
And here's Ron Handy into center ice. The former Indianapolis checker able to clear it in. Back after it is the Golden Eagles. Gdyniak wearing number 93, and the face-off will come all the way back. He wore number 19, but with Toronto, Gdyniak has expressed interest in wearing number 93 on his back, and that's where we'll see him as the night progresses with that new number. Look at the Golden Eagles bench. Todd Harkins and Kevin Melrose, and what are they talking about down there?
Well, probably a couple of plays, Mike. Perhaps what you want to do, bounce it off the boards when I scoop behind a defenseman, try and get a couple of things going there. But more than anything, just a little rah-rah on the bench so nobody falls asleep. Everybody stays intense and ready to get out for the next shift.
Here's Cruz now into the corners. We're back to action. Eagles trying to tie this game. Here is Cruz trying to dump it in front, but Gary Emmons works out of there for Kansas City. Right side pass into the Salt Lake zone. Kravitz trying to leave it free for Emmons, but Young skates him off. Now the Blades trying to center one, but Salt Lake's Olsen leads it out of there for Salt Lake and leads a three-man rush to center. Olsen in across the line. Trying to maneuver for Frey, but it's poked away at the last moment. And here comes Kevin Evans back for Kansas City. Lead pass for Emmons to Evans. Shoots one high over top of the net. You have Gary Emmons and Kevin Evans out there as the puck is loose for Kravitz trying to center one, but tipped away. And Clark leads it to free for Guy into the neutral zone. Able to maneuver into the Kansas City end. Former Vancouver Canuck trying to center one, but Kravitz back of the net fighting off with Guy. Joyce trying to hold on. Takes a hit from Clark. The referee, Don Adams, says, keep it going, guys. And then on the right side, it is Joyce able to flip it all the way deep into the Salt Lake zone. Harkins back after it, and as he touches it, icing is the call. Even 5 minutes to go here in the first period. Kansas City on a Michael Kravitz goal lead, 1-0. We'll come right back in the first period in just a moment. Face-off coming up to the right of the goal. Kansas City on a Michael Kravitz goal leading 1-0. The Eagles have a mark of 20-15 and 2 on home ice, looking for their 21st win here at the Delta Center in their initial year. Here's Dean Kolstad, flips it on the opposite side in his center, and Sean Hafey has to go back. 6th leading goal scorer for the Michigan State Spartans. Hafey leads it for Tim Harris in his center. On the left wing side for the Eagles, Hafey, and he's able to sweep it right back into the Kansas City zone. Irbe plays it, held it at the right point by Guy, shoots, and that deflects wide. Pinching in Gdyniak, and then Kansas City break free into the neutral zone, but a two-line offside inside the Blades blue line of the Salt Lake side of center with 4:29 to go in the first. 1-0 in favor of Kansas City. And Peter Lappin, a Turner Cup MVP in 1987-88. Randy, you played with him. He had 16 goals in 17 games as the Eagles defeated the Flint Spirits for their first Turner Cup in the affiliation, under the affiliation of the Calgary Flames.
Well, you know, Mike, they had the addition of Peter Lappin and Jim Johansson late in the season that year, and what a difference it made to the team. Just turned everything around. Peter Lappin came up with some of the biggest goals probably of his career, and it turned out to be a Turner Cup for him and an MVP.
I remember the final night, a 9-5 win at the IMA Sports Arena in Flint, Michigan, and he had 4 goals. Here's the play to the side of the goal, and the Blades try to work it free. However, Salt Lake's Chernovan is trying to jostle it in the slot also. However, Olsenich takes over. Right side for Peter Lappin into the Salt Lake zone. Lappin now skated off by the Eagles' Wortman. And then, boy, I'll tell you what, C.J. Young takes Ron Handy out of the play for the moment, but he continues and centers one in front. But Kevin Dahl able to knock it away, and Salt Lake dump it deep into the Kansas City zone. And here's Olsenich taking the pass from Irbe across the line, trying to work it free, but Guy able to break it up and able to yank it for Melrose at center. Melrose pass into the neutral zone, but the former Tri-City American of the Western League, Gord Farney, plays to center. Now Olsen on left wing. Lead pass for Melrose. Charging into the Blade zone against Peterson. Centers one, but tipped away. And Kansas City's Evans breaks back. It's opening up right now. 3-on-2 break for the Blades. Chance in front for Kravitz. Centers, they score! Kevin Evans! And you won't see a better 3-on-2 play than that. A great three-way setup for Kansas City.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do, Mike. Get one guy going wide, have him take a defenseman with him, throw it out in front. Here comes Gary Emmons. He's got a lane down the far side, but he brings a defenseman with him, throws it over to Kravitz. He gets the other defenseman to go down. Lo and behold, finds the winger on the far side. Evans tucks it high over top of Mazzotti, and now the Kansas City Blades are up by 2.
Kevin Evans scores the goal for the Kansas City Blades. Time of the goal, 16:38. And the Blades have the 2-0 lead. Evans is 10th of the year. And the Kansas City team up by 2. And a perfect setup, tic-tac-toe into the Salt Lake zone. So the Eagles are going to have to battle back. They came back from a 2-goal deficit against the Blades Wednesday night. At least here this evening, they have a lot more time to work. Here's the plan across the line. Evans skated off beautifully at the defense, and the Eagles break the center. Here's Hafey now, swivels into the neutral zone and pokes it right back in. Forsland and Harris up front also, and Irbe plays it on left wing, and Kansas City dump it into the neutral zone. Blades have gone 2 wins and 7 losses in their last 9 games as the puck worked free on the opposite side with 2:47 left in the first. And with the Blades in for the week, Kevin Constantine has them well coached and says that he doesn't want them going out and enjoying the sights here in Salt Lake, the mountains and the Great Salt Lake and all of that. They're here for a week.
Well, Bobby Francis is a little bit concerned right now the way things are going. His team down by 2, but Kevin Constantine definitely wants to be polished, have his team polish things off, get ready for the playoffs, and it's time to start tonight.
Brian Douglas, our crack producer, said that he probably wouldn't be going out to the Great Salt Lake too often. Here's the play on the far side, and the Eagles trying to dig it free. It's one to the slot, and Cruz comes back. Maybe visiting the Tabernacle Choir, perhaps. Here's the play on the far side of the Blades, wind it right back to center, and the Eagles' Wortman able to crank it right back in. 2:17 left in the first period. 2-0 in favor of Kansas City. And the Blades will work it free into the center ice area and then whack right back for Joyce into the neutral zone. Salt Lake to take over. Harkins now in across the line, trying to split the defense and on goal. Poked away, rebound. They score! Richard Zemlak! And the Blades are hot about it. They feel the net has been dislodged, but Zemlak appeared to have poked it home before that happened. 1:59 to go in the first period. The Eagles have cut the lead in half. It's 2-1.
Right, this is definitely going to count as a goal. Don Adams definitely singled it to go in. Great job by Harkins here to split the D. Comes running inside here, throws the puck towards Irbe, but he gets pushed into the crease. Now, is the net off? That's a tough call, Mike. I don't know if that net was off before the puck went in or not, but it's going to work for the Golden Eagles because it's definitely going to count as a goal. Now the lead sliced 2-1 here.
Well, I'm sure the Blades are feeling, number one, was the net dislodged, and number two, had Harkins interfered with Irbe. On those 2 counts, I'm sure the coach of Kansas City, Kevin Constantine, feeling perhaps the goal should be waved off.
Well, here you see the 3 linesmen and the referee talking to it. We're going to get a good look here. Harkins got a big head of steam going, but there's a defenseman, Lassard, pushing him into the net, taking Irbe with him, and there goes the puck. No question there, Mike. That's a great angle. You can see that puck cross that line before the net was knocked off its moorings. 2-1's a score, and a great goal by Richard Zemlak, falling up late on the play to grab that rebound and throw it into the empty net.
Of course, Randy, there's a rule in pro hockey. If a player is in the act of shooting, even though if the net is dislodged, the goal will count, and perhaps that is why Don Adam is calling the goal. If you're in the act of shooting and the net is dislodged, it's in.
Well, it was very close, but I think maybe now after seeing it for the second time that puck probably went in even before the net even went off its moorings.
Okay, Richard Zemlak gets credit for the goal, and for Zemlak, his 5th of the season, all 5 at the Delta Center. Todd Harkins and Darren Banks on the assists as Banks crashed the net. And this could inspire Salt Lake. Here's Harkins down the left wing side, in on goal, trying to cut it in center one. But Irbe pushes it away, and the Blades break back. And into the neutral zone, it's Gord Fronting. Lead pass for Handy. In the clear. Handy centers one in front, and it's deflected away. Now Fronting dumps it in the slot, and Mazzotti's able to pounce on top and hold on. Boy, great action on the Blade side of the ice, and then right back in front of Jason Mazzotti.
Boy, things are really opening up here. Good job by Handy. He makes a nifty move to get past Zemlak, and here comes Fronting. Picks up that loose puck. Boy, that had a little bit of room to sneak in. It somehow touched Mazzotti's stick and skittered off into the corner and on top of the net and waited for the whistle.
Jason Mazzotti, 49th game of the season. How's that for a rookie? He's going to go over the 50-game mark, and the last Golden Eagle goaltender to play that many games was Mark DeMore. He had 62 back in 1987-88. Face-off will come up, circle to the left of the real workhorse, Jason Mazzotti. Eagles trying to work it free. And late in this period, they try and work it behind the net, and Kevin Guy controls the puck.
on the right side for Sean Hafey. Eagles try and work it free, but it's Evans trying to center one, and the Eagles wind it free for Forsland on right wing. Hafey in the bouncing puck leaves it for Forsland, who flattens it out, and the native of Sweden, who played in the Canada Cup this summer, losing. Evans steals, centers in the slot, a chance for the Blades. Mazzotti, the save, and Ozanich who cut in, and the Eagles clear it up into the stands. Oh boy, Jason Mazzotti robbed the 19-year-old Ozanich from in tight.
Boy, what a great job, but Adams could have called a penalty far before in that play. Eagles gets hooked down, but what a great fake by Evans to slide that puck over. Mazzotti has to come up with a huge kick save to keep this thing at a 2-1 game as we're into our final minute in the first period.
Jason Mazzotti, 4th in the league in goals against. He is also 4th in games played. Artur Irbe in nets tonight for Kansas City. 2nd actually in games played, 4th in goals against. Only Larry Dick of Kalamazoo with 49 has played more games. Here's a chance for Salt Lake's Cruz. Breaks into the Kansas City zone on a break, and on goal. He's in. He can't get the shot off, but tripped up and no call. Eagles trying to center one. It's knocked back to the point. Here's Gadiniak in for Chernamaz. Centers in the slot, but tipped away, and Kravitz breaks back on the right side for Evans. Into the Salt Lake zone. Cruz knocks it down. Is going to get called there. I can't believe that. After Cruz appeared to have been knocked down in the Kansas City end, now he gets called the retaliatory penalty, a slash to the near side.
Well, here's Cruz. He's in hot pursuit. He lets it go. He could have got a slash or a rough there. Don Adams had a good look at it. There's the arm up in the air, and the Eagles are going to go shorthanded again. But what a great shot by Paul Cruz. He had the Irby down and just couldn't get his stick back on that puck. Irby got his stick on Cruz's skates, knocked him flying, and well, that
could you have called a trip there?
Very possibly. A trip is a trip, whether it's a goaltender or a defenseman that's doing it.
I don't think Bob Francis subscribes to that theory on the far side. Well, here it is for the Golden Eagles. They trail 2-1. And again, Cruz having that great scoring chance. The faceoff will come up top of the circle. Only 35 seconds to go in the period, but right now, Kansas City in their 3rd power play. If they fail to score in these 35 seconds, the penalty will go on at the start of period 2.
Well, hopefully the Eagles will be successful in killing off this 35 seconds, go into the dressing room with a 2-1 deficit, but they played great this period, Mike.
Okay, the Blades Kolstad flips it high in the air, goes wide of the target. Lappin plays to the side of the net. Lappin back to the point for Joyce, flips it across for Handy, centers in the slot, a chance, they score! And who else but Peter Lappin, and he didn't have a lot of room on the power play. He beats the goaltender Mazzotti up high. It's 3-1 Kansas City.
Well, the Blades move the puck around nice again, Mike. They get it going from the defense down low, and holy cow, Jason Mazzotti really didn't have much of a chance on that thread needle pass right through the crease by Handy over to Lappin. Lappin's got a lot of time, and he lets one go high up over top of Mazzotti's right shoulder. Now the Blades take a big 3-1 lead with only 20 seconds to go in this period.
It's a power play goal also, a whopping 15 man-advantage goals for Peter Lappin.
Unbelievable, but that's where his success comes, Mike. He's a shooter. Any chance he gets, he shoots, and he's very accurate, and that's why he had 48 goals with the Golden Eagles one year.
All right, the Blades clear it away in his center ice now with 10 seconds to go in the period. A huge goal as the Eagles appeared for the moment to have been back into this thing. Here's Guy, slams it all the way down, deep into the Kansas City zone, and the whole play whistled down, but not before Ron Handy having some words with Don Adam to the center ice area. Bob Francis, I'm sure, disappointed about that penalty and that late goal, and the Golden Eagles have a big deficit to come back here tonight, 3-1 after 20. We'll come back with the second period in just a moment, as well as our between periods activities in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone, to the Delta Center. I'm Mike Barrack, and the Salt Lake Golden Eagles trail the Kansas City Blades by a score of 3-1 at the end of the first period here tonight. Golden Eagles in the first period were outshot by a count of 11-5, and Randy Bucyk, a late power play goal, sealed the difference for Kansas City.
Well, that's definitely got to hurt, Mike, but also the Kansas City Blades had 3 power play opportunities, and that's probably why the shots were so lopsided in 11-5. They were able to pepper Mazzotti. The Golden Eagles, on the other hand, weren't able to penetrate inside the Kansas City zone, get any kind of momentum going, and really get some quality shots against Artur Irbe.
Well,
Well, the Eagles have found themselves down 1-0 early in the game and then have had a battle from there.
Well, you definitely don't want to get yourself behind against a team like the Kansas City Blades. They're very talented, and anytime a team is able to get 50 wins in a season, you know they know what they're doing. So the Eagles have to be very careful. Try and get some momentum going. Take it one shift at a time now. Get back in a hockey game, tie things up, and go from there.
We'll take a look at the scoring here in the opening period. The Golden Eagles trailing by a score of 3-1. And it all started with Michael Kravitz. Kevin Evans made it 2-0. The Eagles coming right back, and then that late power play goal.
Well, that was really the straw that may break their back there, Mike. You have 30 seconds to go in the period. If they're able to kill that off, they go into the dressing room to get a little bit of a breather and worry about that last half of the power play. But unfortunately, the Kansas City Blades were able to pot one before that period's over. Now the Eagles are in a little bit of a hole.
Well, the Eagles down here by a score of 3-1, and we take a look at the first goal for the Blades early on. It didn't take long.
Well, a little bit of a miscue by the Golden Eagles. The puck pops out in front, a quick snapshot by Kravitz, and that's all it took for the 1-0 lead.
And then the Blades jumped to a 2-0 advantage just a little bit later on in the first period.
Well, just a great three-way passing play here. Gary Emmons has a little bit of room down the side, takes Daryl Olson with him, throws it over to Kravitz, who gets the other Eagles defenseman to fall down, and slides it over to Evans, who pops it high over Mazzotti, who really didn't have a chance on the play at all.
Well, the Golden Eagles scored one a little bit later on, and here is the first one right here on the great play by Harkins.
Good individual effort by Harkins to split the defense. He's taken it to the net hard, but Zemlak's following up on the play. He's able to grab that rebound and throw it into the net as Irby was knocked awry.
Then the Blades scored the last goal. It was a power play goal as Peter Lappin notched it for Kansas City. His 15th power play goal of the year. How do the Eagles feel right now? What's the key now going into the second period?
Well, like I say, Mike, you're down in a game, but they really didn't play that bad. If take away those three power play opportunities that the Kansas City Blades have, the Eagles played very well 5-on-5. They have to generate a little more offense against Arthur Irbe, get that puck deep as we talked about early in the program, and pressure the defensemen, tire them out, and that's when they're going to get their scoring opportunities, when the defense are slowing down and not able to move the puck up to the forwards.
Well, the score here at the Delta Center through 20 minutes of play, the Blades 3 and the Eagles 1. We'll come back with our between periods activities in just a moment. And welcome back to Salt Lake Golden Eagles hockey. The Eagles against the first place Kansas City Blades, and the head coach of the Golden Eagles, Bob Francis, alongside. And coach, it's been a very, very difficult season at times, but right now a big win against Kansas City earlier this week, and I know you're fighting for a playoff spot.
Well, we're in a desperate situation, Mike. It's do or die time. We have something to build off of. Our last game against Kansas City, we're playing a desperate team in Kansas City. They're going for the overall lead point, which are behind Fort Wayne by one. So we know we got to work it out for us tonight. Kansas City is going to want this game, and we're in a desperate situation. We have to take one game at a time. We need this one tonight.
In the game against the Kansas City Blades Wednesday night, C.J. Young scored the game winner. You scored 2 in the third period to tie it, and then in the overtime, what was that like for you and the hockey club?
Well, it's a type of situation, Mike, that might turn things around. We were uptight. We were pressing. We came off of a couple losses on the road. We had a difficult time putting the puck in the net. To have everything come together at once like that, I think it's going to help the morale. It's going to help the pressure part of it. I think the guys feel a little bit looser at this point, and now hopefully they'll start reacting instead of overreading and force the issue instead of wait for things to happen, because when you take that approach and you wait for something to happen, usually it's going to be negative. It's not going to be positive. And I think coming off of that note, hopefully we'll go in with a looser atmosphere tonight, as well as knowing that it's going to take a big effort. But we're going to have to come out better prepared in the first period, because I didn't like our game in the first period last game.
The way things look right now, it's a Salt Lake Kansas City playoff matchup. If the Eagles do make that final playoff spot, what do you think about a playoff series against the Blades?
Well, that's the second part of it. Number one, we have to make the playoffs. The second part of it, we've beat them in the last 2 games, and it's helping our confidence against them, and I'm sure it's putting a seed in their mentality as well. And I think going into a playoff predicament, that's a big part of it, is the confidence level. You look at our situation last year with Phoenix. We played them 3 games towards the end of the year, and they performed very well against us, and I think it helped the mentality level going into the playoffs. It helped their confidence, and it gave us a little bit of a concern. And when a team feels comfortable going in and playing against their opposition, they're going to be ready.
What about some of the bright spots for this team this year?
Well, I think you start off in goal. Jason Muzzati's had an exceptional year. He's progressed very well. I think he's a definite NHL prospect. I think you'll see him in NHL one day. On defense, Kevin Wortman has displayed a tremendous amount of skill. His skill is catching up, or excuse me, his experience is catching up to his skill level, and he has the ability to play in the National League if he performs and improves in the reading of the game. But I think that comes through experience. Up front, you have to look at Sean Heafy. He's been an instrumental player offensively for us. Todd Harkins has progressed nicely. He's got good size. He moves very well, and I think he's got to be considered an NHL prospect.
Calgary Flames have struggled this year. Has that affected the Golden Eagles?
I don't think so. You know, you like to use that as an excuse, but that's all it is, an excuse. And I like to think that the players will take the mentality that if they're struggling, they work that much harder down here, they're going to get a look at. So they should get excited about it, not use it as an excuse, because that's all it is. You have to come up with a solution that if they're struggling up top, if I do my job, I'll get my chance.
Bob, best of luck to you and the Golden Eagles the rest of the way. We're excited about the way this thing can finish out, and we look forward to perhaps a Turner Cup.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Bob Francis, head coach of the Golden Eagles. We'll have more Eagles hockey, the Eagles and the Kansas City Blades, in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone, to the Delta Center. The score at the end of 20 minutes of play, Kansas City leading Salt Lake by a count of 3-1. We're pleased to be joined by the Assistant General Manager of the Calgary Flames, Al Coates. Al, welcome down to Salt Lake, and unfortunately a 3-1 lead for the Blades after one period of play. What's your assessment of the game so far?
Well, I think it's been a highly entertaining game from the fan standpoint. Certainly the team has come out and played with a tremendous amount of energy, and if anything, maybe they come out and play with too much energy, and some of the energy has led to some costly penalties. I think anytime you're playing a team like Kansas City that's already got 50 wins in this league, they obviously have a tremendous amount of skill, and if we're going to be successful in the game, we're going to have to keep them off the power play so we can play more 5-on-5 hockey.
Eagles make their appearance on the ice, Al. The affiliation with the Calgary Flames concludes at the end of this season. It's been a great relationship. You suspect they'll keep up the affiliation?
Yeah, I do. We just haven't had time with everything else that's been going on to sit down and talk about it, but certainly we're very happy here. Great facility for our players to play in, a great city for them to play in, so we want to continue it.
There's been talk of a strike at the National Hockey League level. What's your comment on that, and how would that affect the Golden Eagles?
Well, how it'll affect the Eagles, I'm not sure yet. I mean, certainly it's very serious, more serious than it's ever been. So we're going to know a week from Monday whether they're going to go or not. Hopefully it gets resolved before then.
Al, best of luck to you and the Flames, and we look forward to this great relationship.
Thank you very much.
Al Coates, Assistant General Manager of the Calgary Flames, and Randy Bucyk. We go into the second period with the Eagles down by 2, looking to get back into this thing.
Down by 2, Mike, but hey, they're not out of the picture yet. There's a lot of time to go left, 2 periods to go. If they continue to play 5-on-5, and some very interesting things Al Coates was saying, if they play the 5-on-5, stay out of the penalty box, they're really not doing that bad. They're very even with these two teams. The Golden Eagles had a chance to go into the dressing room, take a breather, regroup, get a new game plan. The big difference was the shots on goal, Mike, 11-5, but then again, that was the power play opportunities that the Kansas City Blades held over the Golden Eagles. You get 3 power play opportunities, you're bound to get a lot of shots.
Well, the Blades did outshoot Salt Lake by a mark of 11-5, 50 minutes in penalties also, and that disrupted play. The Blades, as we talk about, 3 power plays and a power play goal, and a very physical opening stanza also.
Well, things started off very rough, Mike, and I was actually quite surprised to see things go like that. But when you have so much at stake, as we talked about earlier in the game, it doesn't take long for things to flare up, and the Golden Eagles are definitely here for a win tonight, and they're going to do whatever they have to get it.
Okay, the Eagles looking to come back into this thing. They're flashing up Rack the House here in the Jumbotron, and the fans trying to get the Golden Eagles to score a quick one and get back into this thing. Okay, the Eagles, Kevin Guy flies it high in the air into the Kansas City zone, and Dean Kolstad able to fling it to center, and Kevin Guy has to go back on the left wing side for Daryl Olsen, and holds on. In his 3rd Eagles season, Olsen leads it for Harris, and covering up is Thomas Forsland. Right side for Guy. He shoots it on Blacker, saved by Irbe. Now the play back of the Kansas City goal down to the corner where the Blades clear but not out. Olsen holds it in. His shot blocked away by the defenseman Joyce, who winds to center. Now Salt Lake control the puck. Olsen on the left wing side. Checking the play. Evans steals to the left wing point for Kolstad. Throws it across for Evans. His shot blocked away by Olsen, who kept his stick down to the ice and was able to block it arrive. The Eagles clear it deep into the Kansas City zone. Icing
is the call with 53 seconds gone into the second period. The score here, Kansas City leading Salt Lake by a count of 3-1. And we'll come back with more from the Delta Center in just a moment. Face-off coming up to the left of the Salt Lake goal. The Eagles down by 2. Chernomaz, Cruz, and also up front for Salt Lake, C.J. Young. And the play at the defense, Wortman winds to center, and Ron Handy able to flip it right back in. 29 years of age, and he winds it deep into the Salt Lake zone. He's the oldest Blade, wearing number 9. Here's the play back of the goal, and Salt Lake could control the puck on the right side for C.J. Young. Bumped off the puck at the last moment. Kansas City trying to center one, and it's wound free on the right wing side. Courtney back to the left wing, pointless side in, shoots, and a pad save by Mazzotti. And it winds into center, where Olzenich has to go back for the Blades. Right side pass into the slot area. Chance for Kansas City. Mazzotti, the save on J.F. Quintin, waltzing into the Salt Lake zone with 1:34 gone into the second period. 3-1 in favor of Kansas City. Jason Mazzotti in goal tonight for Salt Lake, and he's beaten every team, Randy, in the IHL. He had gone 0-5-2 against Kansas City, but that victory Wednesday night gave him a win against all 9 teams in the league.
Well, what an outstanding rookie campaign he's had, Mike. He's been called upon by Bobby Francis quite a bit this year. He's carried the brunt of the load, and he's really showed up to play every night.
Face-off will come up, circle to the left of the net. Scott Sharples is the backup this evening for Salt Lake. Wade Flaherty, the backup for Kansas City. Eagles down by 2. Harkins with the Richard Zemlak and Darren Banks. And this is a very big and physical line for Salt Lake, as Banks able to rumble into the Kansas City zone, but cleared right back to center. And the former RPI engineer, John Carter, ahead for Franny. Shoots, he scores! Gord Franny! And Mazzotti appeared to have it. It trickled over the goal line. He got a piece of it with 1:49 gone into the second period. A huge goal for the Blades. It's 4-1 Kansas City.
Well, Franny just let it go, and you have to know that Kevin Constantine is very happy with the way things are happening right now. Good lead pass up to Franty. He lets one fly, and he just wraps it right off the goal post past Mazzotti. A big 4-1 lead now by the Kansas City Blades. The Golden Eagles definitely have to get one early here in the second period to fight their way back into this hockey game and make things interesting.
John Carter and Dwayne Joyce, his second assist of the night, have helped out on that goal. Franny is 16th of the year. He's a rookie. He played college hockey at Western Michigan and also a year of junior hockey in Tri-Cities of the Western Hockey League, and with a big blast gives Kansas City the 4-1 lead. And the Eagles are going to have to battle back here. Here's the play at center ice, and Kevin Guy able to swivel it across the line. Long flip shot and steered aside by Irbe. Apey now, his shot deflects right through the goal crease to the point. Guy a drive. Harris steers it wide. The Eagles dump it back of the goal. Harris for Salt Lake to Hafey. Skated off on the right side, and Kravitz able to wing it to center. Early on, second period, 4-1 Kansas City. And Kevin Guy able to fling it to center where Lassard back after the puck skips high in the air, and Harris able to wind it right back in. And the play down to the Kansas City end, and the Blades try and flip it free on the right side. Here's Olzenich into center. Across the blue line, long shot caught by Mazzotti. He himself plays it for Clark to the right of the goal. Here are the Eagles out of their own side, and Paul Cruz able to muscle it to center. Kolstad able to sweep it into the neutral zone, and then Clark knocks down J.F. Quintin. Blades work it free on right wing. Here is Joyce trying to center one off the skate of Olsen into the blue line. Handy cuts in on goal, centers one, and the shot deflects wide by Courtney. At the point, Kolstad a drive. That caroms wide. Handed to the right point for Joyce. His shot, stick save, they score! J.F. Quintin on the rebound. Mazzotti makes the original save, and lo and behold, Quintin is there and bangs it home.
Well, the Eagles are slowing down quite a bit here now, Mike. They've had the puck a couple of times and not able to clear the zone, and that's the big problem. Being mesmerized, the defenseman has too much time to get that shot away, and then there you see the forward in front of the net, Quintin, had a lot of time to grab the rebound and throw it past Mazzotti. So perhaps the Eagles could have got caught on a long shift there, and that's why they were a little slow in getting to where they wanted to go, and the Kansas City Blades were able to move it around and find that open man in front.
Dwayne Joyce and Ron Handy on the assist. Quintin's 4th of the year at .320, and Kansas City have taken a 5-1 lead, and a rare goaltender change for Salt Lake. After yielding 5, Mazzotti being asked to go to the players' bench, and Scott Sharples comes in.
Well, it's always tough for a coach to pull a goaltender. Not too many of those goals really were Mazzotti's fault. A couple of 3-on-2, 2-on-1, a rebound in front of the net. Well, maybe Bobby Francis is changing things just to get a little momentum on his team's side.
Well, the Eagles trail 5-1 here early in the second period, and we'll come back with more from the Delta Center, the Eagles and the Blades, in just a moment. Mike Barak alongside Randy Bucyk here at the Delta Center. Scott Sharples, the 24-year-old, in his 32nd game of the year. And we'll touch on his statistics in just a moment as they whack it offside. Sharples, 8-17-3 with a goals against of 3.84 as he replaces the starter, Jason Mazzotti. His last victory coming February 28th in Kansas City, and there's the record, and quite a contrast to when he won 21 a year ago.
Well, a little bit of a bad December, early February part of the season for him, but he's really played well the last half of the season.
Here is Kevin Dahl, now on the left wing side, trying to work it for Darren Banks, able to fly it right back into the center ice area. And Dean Kolstad on left wing, able to bounce it into the center ice area, and Dahl has to twirl back for Salt Lake. Kevin Dahl on the right side for Todd Harkins. It's bumped right back in, and Kevin Melrose plays the puck. Total of 4 minutes gone into the second period. There's still a lot of time left in this game. However, it's a big uphill climb right now. They'll need 4 to tie, 5 at least to win the game. And this is against the top goaltender in the league. Here's Banks on left wing, able to flip it right back in. Eagles change. Up front, it's Hafey with Forsland and Harris. Here's Guy now, leaves it for Forsland on the left wing side for Olsen, right side for Guy at his own defense. Here's Kevin Guy up the middle for Harris. Can't squeeze by the defense. Olsen is trying to tie him up. It bounces to the far hash marks, and Salt Lake control. Back of the net, Forsland trying to wrap around. He's knocked down, and no call as the Blades break back. Evans to center. Right side for Fraudy, in for Evans, but Kevin Guy able to tie him up. And the puck squirts to the right wing side. Eagles are going to perhaps have to open it up. They're down by 4, and Olsen just flings it to the blue line and in the center. Well, Kansas City with a total of 50 wins this year and 103 points, playing like the team that they have all season long. They're up 5-1. Salt Lake break back. Here's Forsland now. One-on-one into the blade zone. Can't pull the trigger. And with 3 red shirts back, they clear it away. And Gary Emmons, 100 points a couple of years ago. In on goal, shoots to the stick save. Sharples at the left point, cutting in. Kravitz a drive. And Karam's wide. And Godinnik now back of the goal. Well, Salt Lake right now, they need something. Here's Godinnik now into the neutral zone. Eludes 2 checkers, now moves in, but his shot to Karam's wide. Now the play to the side of the Kansas City goal. Cruz now bumped off hard by Kravitz. And boy, he's been a good two-way player for Kansas City. And the Blades just swing it right back in. Kansas City change up defensively, and the Eagles' C.J. Young, who had 2 goals in the Olympics, including a big one against Italy. However, Lassard able to wind it to center, and not before. The Eagles' Godinnik knocks Handy clear to the ice. And Lassard to the top of the circle, Kansas City zone, leads Handy on his way. Left wing pass into the Salt Lake zone, but it's offside at the Eagles' blue line. 6:08 gone into the second period. We're going to take a look at the offside, the 2-line offside pass in just a moment here with the Blades leading 5-1.
The Salt Lake Golden Eagles present the 3 rules of hockey, the main rules that control the game, as demonstrated by Golden Eagle players Kevin Workman, Dennis Holland, and Darren Banks. Sponsored by Ardell Brown Recreational Vehicles.
Rule number 2 is a 2-line pass. It is illegal for an offensive player to receive a pass crossing more than 1 line without being touched by a defender. For example, a player cannot receive a pass beyond the blue line if the passing teammate is behind the center ice line. This is a 2-line offside. However, a pass from a teammate is legal if the puck crosses only a single line. Back to action here at the Delta Center. Kansas City leading 5-1. The Eagles, Scott Sharples replacing Jason Mazzotti, and here's Kerry Clark out of his own end. Right side, Richard Zemlak into the drop pass for Clark. He shoots. Kick save by Airbay. Great blast by Clark. And now the Blades break back. Here's Keane 10 trying to pass it to free, but Kevin Dahl intercepts and winds it free into the neutral zone. Zemlak for Clark.
In on the right side for Zemlak, cuts in. Zemlak now eludes a check, trying to flip it down to the side of the net, and now the whole play is whistled down. I believe the net has been dislodged. The right post has been dislodged over there into the Kansas City zone, and boy, Kerry Clark let go a ripper.
Boy, great play by Richard Zemlak. Drops that puck and then takes a defenseman out of the way. Clark steps right into it, lets a drive go, but Irby gets the big pads in front of it.
Artur Irbe is not that big. He's 5'9", 180 pounds. What makes him so successful as we take a look at Bob Francis, the head coach of the Eagles, and he can't be too pleased about Artur Irbe and the way this score has gone.
Well, when your team's down 5-1 and the game's not even halfway over, you have to say something on the bench to get him lifted up a little bit, try and generate some kind of offense, but it's pretty tough when you have the best goalie in the league to face.
Okay, the Eagles with 13 minutes to go in the second period. The Eagles have averaged this season just over 3 goals per game, and Kansas City the best defensive team in the league so far. So I'll tell you what, it's going to take a big turnaround here for Salt Lake.
Well, hey, you know what? The Golden Eagles need 5 more to get back in this game, and the Kansas City Blades only average 3 a game giving up, so it's going to make things pretty tough.
Indianapolis have defeated Milwaukee tonight by a score of 4-0, and I can bet that Ray LeBlanc was between the pipes, and they've won 8 of 9 since Ray LeBlanc has joined that team from the Olympics, and for the moment they're only a single point back of Salt Lake.
Well, and that's not the best news for Bobby Francis and his troops to hear that Indy won another game, because that just tightens things up that much more for that final playoff spot race.
The IHL, it's the top 8 teams that make the playoffs. As a result, the Ice are in the 4th position in the Eastern Division, but they'll go by total points at this particular time. Here's the play on left wing. Eagles trying to jostle it free. Heafy leads Harris on his way into the Kansas City zone. Harris stops, trying to throw it across in front for Cruz. The guy pinching in. Flips it off the backboards into the corner. Harris now for Salt Lake, pushing for Heafy, trying to center one, but blocked away. And Big Frederick on his way at 6'5", 220 pounds. On left wing for Lappin. Trying to split the defense, can't. And squeezed off for the moment, and Olsen plays on left wing. Olsen now into the Kansas City zone, flips it in. Eagles change on the fly, and Irbe leaves it for zone defense. Here's Lissard for the forward Evans. Pokes it across into the Salt Lake zone for Emmons. Shoots one off a stick and deflects into the corner. And Emmons out of Northern Michigan, former teammate of Darrell Olsen, clears it along the boards. Lissard, a weak shot. Stick save by Sharples, and Salt Lake's Chernamaz able to break the center. Left wing for Forsland, and he bangs it right back in. Where the Eagles need a goal here to get back into this thing. Here's Chernamaz trying to leave it free, but it's wound right back to center. And the Blades doing a nice job of forechecking as Wortman has no other choice but to clear it to the blue line. Playing the neutral zone, Emmons on left wing. Winds it for the forward and the near side, Evans, Kevin Evans, and he bounces it back in. Randy, the Blades doing a nice job at open ice.
Well, they don't have to get fancy, Mike. They've got 5 goals already. They're up by 4. Just a simple dump it in and kill the clock off, and holy cow, that's not good news right there.
And the Golden Eagles trying to work it free. As we mentioned earlier, the Ice winning 4-0 against the Milwaukee Admirals. Here's the play at the defense, and Young able to poke it to center, and the Blades fire it right back in. And Scott Sharples leaves it for Melrose on the right side for Wortman. Ahead for Chernamaz. Lead pass for Banks into center. Busts into the Kansas City zone, but can't squeeze by the defense. And Chernamaz able to poke it right back in. 10:48 left in the second period. 5-1 Kansas City. Then Banks runs into Irbe. I think Irbe made it look more dramatic. Then Clark runs into Quintin. We're going to have a penalty on the play, I think, as Clark got back of the goal. Trying to flick it for Banks center. Quintin after it, and now pushing and shoving into the Kansas City zone. It all started with the goaltender Irbe back of the net and then went from there.
Well, I think Irbe, he got knocked over by big Darren Banks, and as Banks came around the back of the net for the second time, Irbe came out and tried to body check him, and very rarely do you see a goaltender do that, but the Golden Eagles are going to go up on the initial power play off of a penalty by a contender right here against Kerry Clark. But watch this puck go behind the net, and watch Irbe try and knock Banks over. Look at that.
Yeah, he tried, and look who got knocked down. He was ran over by the big freight train, Darren Banks. We'll have a penalty against the Blades. The Blades lead 5-1. We'll come back here at the Delta Center in just a moment. Barrack alongside Randy Bucyk at the Delta Center. A look at the Golden Eagles' somber bench, and Bob Francis and Jim Levens as well. There was going to be an initial penalty against Quintin. Kerry Clark may go off also. We'll see if the Eagles gain a power play. They've not had a chance with the man advantage here this evening.
Well, as it stands right now, the Kansas City Blades have a couple of men in the penalty box, and the Eagles only one. As you see the two captains discussing things with Don Adams right now and exactly what he saw. But it appears to be right now that the Golden Eagles are going to get a man advantage out of this thing if he calls single minor penalties for everybody involved that are in the penalty box right now.
Well, the Eagles will gain a power play. The penalties as follows. J.F. Quintin for Kansas City, a holding penalty. That was the initial call. Arthur Irbe, interference, and that may have been with that Darren Banks play back of the goal, and Kerry Clark a charge on the far wing. So the end result, a power play for Salt Lake, their first of the game.
Well, this is a good chance for them, Mike, to get things going here and get back into this game. You have to start somewhere, and if you can get one goal and build on that, you never know. There's a lot of time to go. There's over half the game yet, so the stranger things have happened. The Golden Eagles certainly aren't out of it totally yet. There is just too much time.
Great crowd here tonight at the Delta Center. The Eagles have averaged over 6,000 fans per game, and that is an increase of about 500 to 600 per game from last year. And they've really come out here at the Delta Center, Randy, in the first year here in this beautiful facility.
Well, they've averaged a lot of people this year, and they've been treated to some great hockey. Although the Eagles are in fourth place in their division, they play some spectacular games here in the Delta Center.
Eagles rank 8th of 10 teams in the power play, and boy, Kansas City's penalty killing is terrific. They have the best penalty killing in the league. Here is Todd Harkins down across the line. Eagles trying to get back into this game, and however, it's cleared by Kansas City all the way down. The point men are Wortman and Olsen, Hafey with Harkins and Young up front. So some firepower for Salt Lake. Here's Wortman out of his own end on the outlet pass for Young. Is the Eagles. Young able to sidestep the check for the moment, throws it across for Harkins, back to Young at center. It tipped away. Now into the corner, Hafey for Salt Lake. Great pass for Wortman. He shoots. That's blocked to the defense. Kansas City cleared away. And Carter on his way into the neutral zone. NCAA championship for him at RPI. There's to the blue line, and Wortman leads a four-man rush to center. Right side for Hafey. It's in his skates for the moment. Now gets away from Colston, and on goal. Can't get the shot off. Chernum has a chance, and the Blades break back on the right side and clear it all the way down.
Well, the Eagles have come close, Mike. They're just unable to pull that trigger. They've got the puck in that danger zone right in front of Irbe, but they haven't been able to put it high over top of him.
Here it's Rich Chernamaz arching it across the line. Chernamaz now works in back of the net, hands it for Cruz. Cruz and Forsland now the other forwards along with Chernamaz. Chernamaz drops it back, but right onto the stick. Thank you very much for Gary Emmons on the left wing side. Plays it for Joyce's shot. Stick save. Sharp was up into the stands. A stoppage of play with 34 seconds to go in the penalty. 9:04 to go in the second period. Rich Chernamaz, 2 goals shy. Doug Palazzari in the goal scoring department. He's second in games played to Lyle Bradley, an immortal as a Golden Eagle. So some milestones for Chernamaz as we get down a little bit closer towards his finish of his 5th year in an Eagles uniform. Faceoff will come up to the right of the Eagles net. Eagles trying to work it free. It's pushed to the blue line, and Kolstad just flings it up into the corner. And with 8:58 to go in the period, the faceoff will come back into the Salt Lake zone.
Well, it's not hard to see why the Kansas City Blades have such a great penalty killing unit. They do a great job at not allowing the Golden Eagles to penetrate coming over the blue line. The Eagles are trying to carry that puck in rather than dump and chase. And you got a couple of big blue liners, Dean Kolstad and Olenich back there. It makes things very tough for the Golden Eagles to carry it in and with any kind of control.
Chernamaz, Forsland, and Cruz up front as the Eagles down here by 4. Just 28 seconds left in the penalty. Carter losing the draw, and Salt Lake control the puck on the left wing side. Now back of the net, Kevin Dahl from Regina, Saskatchewan. On the right side for Chernamaz. He overskates for the moment. Forsland plays for Salt Lake. On the right side for the Eagles, Cruz, and across the line. Cruz moving in, drops it for Melrose, backs it up into the corner. Chernamaz trying to dig it free. Cruz there also, and controls for Salt Lake. Left wing point pass for Melrose to Dahl. That's it in the penalty. Handy is back on. The pass to the left wing point for Melrose. He's able to play it in the corner for Chernamaz. He is wrapped around. cruising a forecheck also. Joyce trying to hold on. Eagles trying to center one, but Kansas City cleared away. Andy into the neutral zone. Breaks free and across the line and flips it in off the backboards, and the Eagles control the puck. Salt Lake down here in the second period by a score 5-1. And Dahl on right wing, able to break out of there for Salt Lake. In for the forward Harkins with a couple of players trapped in. He has to backpedal and leaves it for Dahl into center. The Eagles have backed up now as the Blades do a nice job of forechecking. Now Zemlak in his center. Off the leg of Banks off the pass, and then Zemlak clears to the Blades blue line, and they're doing a nice job of stacking up into the neutral zone.
Well, very seldom will you see the Kansas City Blades get outnumbered. They always have 3 men back on.
Here the Eagles back on the right side. Here's Dahl in the center for Salt Lake with Harkins. In across the line. Dahl moving free, stops to the blue line, now twirling in, flips it into the corner for Harkins, centers in front but tipped away. Then Kansas City clear to the opposite side. Eagles were changing on the fly, and it's wound all the way deep into the Salt Lake zone where Guy back after it as he touches it. Icing is the call. 7:09 to go in the second period. Kansas City leading by a score of 5-1. It was 3-1 after 20, and it's 5-1 now. We'll come right back in just a moment. Golden Eagles long goal scorer Richard Zemlak on a rebound in the opening period. Shots on goal. The Blades have outshot Salt Lake to this point 18-8. Here's the play on left wing, and Kolstad able to fling it to center, and back at his own defense is Gdynia. Talked about it at the outset. The Eagles needed to pressure their defense and get shots on goal, but they've not been able to do that so far here tonight. Here's the play on the right side of the Eagles. Hayfie leaves it free for the defenseman Gdynia. Too many moves at center, and then flip right back in to the Salt Lake zone. Wortman has to go back. Kevin Wortman, 23 years of age, from Saugus, Massachusetts, losing for the moment and cleared right back to the blue line, and the Eagles break free. Here is the rookie Wortman in across the line. He's played all the games this year. Centers one, but tipped away by the backliner Kolstad, and Kansas City take over on left wing. Frederick hauled down. Eagles hold on to the puck for the moment. Hayfie winds it to the defense, and Kansas City clear it but not out. Hayfie sweeps it to the blue line, and Kolstad just flies it right back into the Salt Lake zone. 6:10 to go in the second period. 5-1 Kansas City. And Forsland now pokes it right back into the Kansas City zone. Desired skated off for the moment. Chernomaz trying to dig it free. And then Olzenich on the right side trying to clear it, but the Eagles take over. Forsland trying to jostle it free, back of the net. It is the forward Quinten trying to kick it free. Chernomaz on the board. Eagles ferociously trying to make a play. Forsland now into the corner. He's knocked flying by Olzenich. The referee Adams says keep it going, and the Eagles clear it now back at the net. And Irbe plays it free on the far wing. Eagles now, the guy trying to hold it in. Pinches for the moment, and as a result, a two-man break for the Blades. Quinten moving in, centers one, but Olsen, the only man back, able to break it up. If you pinch in and gamble, the other team will come out 3-on-2 or 2-on-1, Randy, and that's what took place.
Well, but the Golden Eagles have to do that, Mike. They've got to take chances now. They're down 5-1. They have to do whatever they can to get a couple of goals.
Here is Carter now on the right side, playing but not out. Eagles hold it in. Harkins in front, losing it in his skates. And Kansas City break free again. On the right side, it is Courtenay, taken out of the play by Melrose. And the Blades center one in front, but finally it's Harkins who chips it to the blue line and out to center ice. Here's Dahl, crosses the checkered line. In across the blue line, but somebody's ahead of the play. It looks like Darren Banks offside at the opposite wing with 4:44 to go in the second period. 5-1 Kansas City. Randy, unbelievable as the Golden Eagles will try and notch a goal past Arthur Irbe. In the game against the Blades Wednesday night, the Eagles were down 3-1. They put numbers on the scoreboard, or I should say on the chalkboard in the dressing room, and all the players put up money for the game-winning goal. It turned out to be C.J. Young, and they raised over $750 for him. Maybe he'll have to do that again here tonight. Maybe they'll have to raise a lot more money.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be a big pot tonight if they come back to win it, but a little bit of incentive for the guys. They were hungry last game, and hopefully they can pull out some heroics here again tonight.
Well, if they raise $750 down by 2, they're going to have to raise maybe over 1,000 here tonight at least. Here's the play at center ice, and the Blades work it in. Quick shot, and that deflects wide of the target. And Wortman winds it free, but not out. Joyce at the point. His shot caroms wide. Evans trying to center one, but Solik winded free for Clark as he races to center, but Kolstad beats him to it on right wing. And Joyce plays for Kansas City. Boy, he's flattened by Clark. Good hit by Kerry Clark. The Eagles have thrown their weight around. Remember a check by Olsen on Kolstad in the first period, and Clark levels. Kansas City player there. Now Cruz throws down Kevin Evans, and the play breaks free to center. Wortman in across the line. Those two fought earlier. Here's the play in front of the goal. Irbe to save. It's cleared away to the point. Gdyniak a drive, pad save, and whipped away. Boy, Cruz, and I don't know if it was Gdyniak that leveled Evans. Now Cruz on right wing slams it and hits Evans. Evans doesn't like it, and it's clear to center. And then Zemlak hauls down the player Evans in his center ice, and you throw a guy down enough, they're going to call a penalty, and Zemlak's going to get called there.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the Golden Eagles may have got sucked in a little bit on that one. Evans is known for that, to try and get under your skin and draw penalties, and that's exactly what he did. Picture perfect against the Golden Eagles, and Richard Zemlak is a victim. He's headed off into the penalty box to sit for 2 minutes while the Kansas City Blaze go into power play.
Eagles have given up over 100 more power plays for the opponents than they've scored this year. Richard Zemlak interference at 16:25, the fourth power play for Kansas City. They're 1 for 3. Kevin Evans over 2,000 career penalty minutes, and he fell a lot on that sequence of plays on the near side, on the far side, and as you mentioned, he finally drew the penalty.
Well, he tried his best, a little bit of theatrics here and there, but it finally paid off in the end, and the Blades are going to go on a power play. Definitely another big kill. The Eagles cannot go down by another goal, Mike, making it 6-1. That would almost seem like an insurmountable lead.
Here's the play now back of the goal with 3.5 minutes to go in the period. 5-1 Kansas City. And Messier able to whip it to the top of the circle, and finally it's wound high in the air. Young after it, but poked away at the last moment. 3:20 to go in the second period. 5-1 Kansas City. And the Blades, the side now circling back of his net. Here's Rick Lassard, slowly out of his own end. Able to break this in, crosses the blue line, now the checkered line, and whacks it right back to the Salt Lake goal. Scott Sharples leaves it there. Young on the right side, clears but not out. Lassard to Olzenich, a shot, and a kick save Sharples. At the point, Olzenich for Kansas City. To the left wing side for Lassard, a wrist shot, pad save. Sharples on Peter Lappin, and since replacing Jason Mazzotti, Scott Sharples has not yielded a goal.
Well, he's been tested a couple of times, Mike, and it's tough for a goaltender to come in the middle of a hockey game and really be fresh, but Sharples makes a great save off of a tip by Peter Lappin, and those are some of the toughest saves to make, because you really, as a goaltender, have no idea where that puck is going to go once it caroms off of somebody's stick.
Scott Sharples has gone 2-10-3 in his last 15 decisions. He's struggled a little bit, but you know, it's tough with Jason Mazzotti playing the bulk of the game to get thrown in there every once in a while, and it doesn't allow for much of a rhythm here in the rest of the season.
Well, it really started off rotating at the beginning of the season, and things changed in an awful hurry. Mazzotti got a lot of the bulk of the play, but Sharples is still a very capable goaltender, and he's showing that here again tonight. He's made some outstanding saves when he's been put into the net.
Minutes ago in the Zemlak penalty, Salt Lake trailing 5-1, and Kansas City trying to work it free, but the Eagles push it to center, and Kolstad winds it right back in. However, it's John Carter in to make a play. Carter to the right wing side for Kansas City. It's Quintin. Olsen stays with him. Carter now flips it for the forward Quintin. Back to the right wing side. Kolstad to the point for Joyce. To Kolstad. A shot that deflects wide. Kansas City's Carter now to the left for the goal. Holding on to the puck. Back to the point for Kolstad. To Carter. Holding on. Shoots, and a save by Mazzotti, or I should say by Sharples, and steered aside. Here's the play to the near hash marks. It is taken by the forward Courtney. To the forward to the left for the goal. The Quintin to the point. Kolstad a drive. That hits the helmet of the referee Adam and bounces in front. Quintin trying to jostle it free. 9 seconds to go in the penalty. Eagles clear it outside the line. 1:40 to go in the period. Eagles down by 4 goals. However, they've killed this penalty off. Kansas City 1 for 4. So the penalty killing for Salt Lake's been pretty good tonight. Here's Shafee now on the right side. Just clears it to the blue line. Broken up by Olzenich, and he winds it right back in. 1:20 to go in the period. 5-1 Kansas City. and Kevin Guy throws it on left wing Forsland. Lead pass for Harkins at center, but tipped away. Now Zemlak in the neutral zone can't make a play, covering up Olzenich on the right wing boards. Evans now swivels into the Salt Lake end, shoots one, and a pad save by Scott Sharples at the left point. Lessard fans on it. Here come the Eagles back. Zemlak for Harkins into the blade zone, in on goal, shoots, and a good wrist shot and a blocker save by Irbe. Went low to the stick side. Irbe made a nice save, cut down the angle at the point. Gdynia closing in, shoots, that hits somebody in front and deflects away. Good scoring chance for Salt Lake.
Well, Salt Lake applies a little bit of pressure, but they're unable to come away with a goal. Great job by Todd Harkins flying down the wing. He's got room on the blocker side. He shoots it in stride, and I'll tell you what, Irbe didn't even really move until that hit his blocker. Had it been a little bit lower, it may have gone in, but Irbe, he's a top-notch goaltender, Mike.
He is a goaltender that played, interestingly enough, for the Soviet national team and despised it. He wanted out to the Soviet Union. He was playing for the Red Army team, and I'll tell you what, he said, I want out to the Soviet Union, and here he comes over to North America, and he played for the team, but he wasn't really playing for his country.
Well, I think he's got a career over here in North America. He's going to be a good one. I'll tell you, born in '67, he's pretty young still.
Faceoff will come up. He's 25 years of age, born in Riga, Latvia. Here's the play on the far side and cleared away to the near wing. Of course, Latvia, one of the provinces that wanted independence in the Soviet Union. Here's the play back of the net. Lappin now trying to center one. Tipped away. Blades handy takes over. 30 seconds to go in the period. And Salt Lake's Wortman able to break out of there. 3-on-3. There are 3 blades stacked to the blue line. Here's Chernamaz trying to muscle it free. Need that John Madden chalkboard to see that one as it's wound free into center ice. And the Eagles take over on left wing with 10 seconds to go in the period. And Chernamaz able to break to center. Right side for Young. Into the blade zone. Pulls up with 5 seconds to go and shoots one in front, but tipped away. Net dislodged. And that does it for the period anyway, with the Blades holding to a 5-1 lead through 40 minutes of play.
Well, things were tough for the Golden Eagles, Mike. Every time they got a chance, there was Mr. Irbe there in front of them, stopping everything that came at them. The Golden Eagles lose this period 2-0. They're in a big hole now, down 5-1, but they're going to go into the dressing room, regroup, and hopefully come out rejuvenated for the third period, and something special happen.
Well, they did it Wednesday night. We'll see if they can do it here this evening. 5-1 Kansas City after 2. We'll come back with more in just a moment.